Beep, boop, beep. Okay, we're live. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to the weekly live stream. Yeah, it's pretty chill week this week. I already got 2 people watching, which is pretty cool. And oh my god, Batman's cape is right in the frame. I apologize. Oh shit, there we go again. Nope, nope, nope. Sorry, I don't have a stand this time around. So, hi Ike Studios, good to see ya. I'm trying this new format. I think this is ultimately going to be the better format for now for streams. Hi Junebug Films, good to see ya. This is essentially my closed desk thing. I use this for animation on my Power Rangers video, but I like this style. I think this is going to be it from now on. So let me just try to. Hi David Salgado. Hi Luke, good to see ya. Donnie Hugh, good to see ya. So yeah, oh Jesus, that is even worse. Oh my god, I need to find a better stand. We're having very technical difficulties already. This is not good. Yeah. Just trying to get something here. Let's see, is that gonna work? Is there a little oh fuck. There's gonna be a lot of shit in the way to get this standing. Hold on a sec, guys. What to use? I need some sort of weight thingy. Let's try this. Let's try my Kong VHS, which by the way, if you guys want to buy this, definitely go check out a few areas. Just send us a message on Facebook or Twitter, and we will get you a copy, and it's just $5 plus shipping. Yeah, it is the battery charger. Battery chargers have been sucking lately for me. Let's see, is that gonna work? Okay, I think this might work. I don't know. Fuck a duck with an iron fist. Goddamn. Okay, let's try that. So yeah, I think that's gonna work for now. So yeah, what's a VHS? P.S. I'm kidding. Well, when a video and a film fall in love and love each other very much. Okay, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, this week's been pretty chill. Hi Irene, good to see ya. Hi Inuyasha Dinosaur 101. So yeah, this week's been pretty chill. I've been rather just relaxing for a little bit. I've been coming up with a few things. We are finally back on track with work and stuff. Got this for Christmas, Jared. So, basically, yeah, we're just kind of been chilling this week. I've been mostly buying stuff. Not gonna lie, I've been buying a lot of stuff. I've been, watching, well, I'm trying to think, what have I been buying? Just supplies and stuff for future projects, paint, tape to build things, cosplays. I've been working on those a lot. I got 3 cosplays essentially done in the last month. I got my Prince Lear cosplay done for The Last Unicorn. That's for Anime North coming up in May, which you guys can't see me at. The other areas I've been, other cosplays I've been building, I built a full-on Clint Eastwood cosplay from the Fistful of Dollars trilogy, which during that I was able to watch them all the way through. I fucking love those westerns, man. They're fucking great. So, built a Clint Eastwood cosplay. I actually bought a Nerf gun. I forget what it's called, but I think it's like the hammer shot. I think it's kind of like a Western revolver. I bought one of those and I modified it to make it look like a revolver from the Old West, so at least it's safe to use. So I built that, did an Eastwood cosplay, and then I had time to build an Indiana Jones cosplay too. So if you guys follow me on TikTok and everything, you can check out my cosplays there. So, did a couple of those, some of them are for future projects, others are just for cosplay for show because I wanted to build something. So that's what I've been kind of doing. Aside from that, I've just been shopping at secondhand stores. I actually found a few extra, actually they're over here. I'm just going to pull them down. Some of these I'm going to sell, but some of them I'm holding on for myself. I found a big stockpile of Jurassic Park toys. I buy everything secondhand, so I found a couple of these to add to my Jurassic Park toy collection, which if you guys want to see a full review of those, go check those out on my Jurassic Park Legacy reviews. Great episode, by the way. It came out really well. So a couple of these I am actually going to sell off Kijiji or whatever. Or if you guys don't know what Kijiji is, it's essentially Canadian Craigslist. So first one I got here, this one I'm definitely selling is this little Dilophosaurus weird head thing. Like, this looks really weird. I have no use for it, so that's either going to go or it's going to be a gift for somebody. I'm not 100% sure on that. This one I already have, and again, this is probably going to be a gift or sold. I'm not 100%. It's a Ceratosaurus from that awful Jurassic World Hasbro line. This shit was awful. Thankfully, I have the Mattel version, which is way better. I love that Mattel Ceratosaur. And yes, I do know about that recent discovery of that new Tyrannosaur they found. I forget what it's called, but something like the Devil's Brethren or whatever. I can't remember what it's called, like the Angel of Death. It's kind of a cool idea. I like the color scheme that the artwork's putting out. So, and then I also got another one of these. I've been finding these like crazy, the Dimentrodons from the old Kenner line back in '93. Been finding a lot of those lately. So I bought that. So these three are probably going to go either for sale or for gifts for friends who I also share Jurassic toys with, essentially. But the main score was these three. So the first one was this Pteranodon, the little tiny Pteranodon, which I have one of these already, but you can always go with more Pteranodons. Fortunately, his leg's fucked. He has no second leg. But what's funny is I used to have this toy as a kid. And I remember I used to do roleplay of Land Before Time. I had a couple Land Before Time figures, and I always used this as Petrie because I could rarely find a Petrie figure. I know there is one, but at this point, I don't see any point in collecting those. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I have a lot of Jurassic World Lost World toys from the 90s. Never got rid of them. Never. Good. Good, Huey. Good. Keep that shit. So yeah, I got a little Pteranodon here. That's from Kenner. This one is it's a Spinosaur. It's from the third film, which I have actually come to respect now that Fallen Kingdom is out. Now this one, I have the T-Rex for this, but it's actually supposed to be for some sort of fighting game. Like, remember those? You guys remember those like board games that came out? And they were like kind of competing with Hungry Hungry Hippos, where you would make the toys kind of just bash each other and fight to the death and knock each other out. They were kind of like, it started with Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but then all these other companies tried to make them. They made one for the Raptors for Lost World, and they also made one for Jurassic Park 3. They also made a Phantom Menace of this, where they had Qui-Gon and Darth Maul fighting, and I used to have that toy. But I've been finding like just the figures, and the figures themselves are okay. And I could always go for another Spinosaur figure, but this one's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it doesn't really do much. I mean, you just move it around. It's like it's the Muppet Show! It's just kind of an odd design. His tail's really small, but there's that. But then this was the piece de resistance. I found this guy. It's a Triceratops, I believe from the Lost World line. Now, I have the Kenner Triceratops, the big one. And I also have a few other Triceratops figures. But this one, I kind of was curious about because I guess this is supposed to be a juvenile because this is from the Lost World line. And I do like the piece of this figure because you can just move his head up and down. But I believe this is supposed to be a juvenile because the big Triceratops from Kenner is huge. But I like this one a little bit. Like it's a nice sculpt. I really like the look of this guy. It's not a baby Triceratops, it's a juvenile Triceratops. So it is kind of cool. I really like the look of this thing. So found a couple of these in the span of a couple of days, which was pretty cool. Aside from that, I have obtained a couple of movies. Not gonna lie, I've been buying movies like crazy lately. Trying to see what I've added recently. Some of them are in the back. Not tonight. I really don't want to go through my collection again. But just to give you guys a bit of a look back of what I recently got, I just got two movies. One is actually a movie I really like, and that being Real Steel with Hugh Jackman. I actually kind of enjoy this movie. Technically, this is a Disney film, right? I think this is technically Disney, but it's cool because it's made by Touchstone, which is owned by Disney. But anyway, this movie's actually not too bad. I actually really enjoyed this. I saw this, I think, when it came out on DVD, and I was like, oh, it's a fun little robot movie. This is the Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie. Now watch, we're going to make the Jurassic Park movie just like it, but with these things. So, I did enjoy Real Steel. Now, this one is funny. So, I was at my local pawn shop where I buy all my DVDs, and DVDs are like $1. So, I found 2 copies of this film. And it was actually suggested to me by my friend Josh, who Endgamer64, because he is a big fan of this anime. Now, I'm kind of a mild fan. I've played a few games, few duels. I have watched the show. I think the show is decent. I think out of all the collect them all animes, as I dub them, so like Pokemon, Digimon, and shit, this is probably the best one because, and I also did see the first movie in theaters. I bought Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark-Sided Dimensions on DVD. I have yet to see this, but Josh told me this is a really good film. And is a great follow-up to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, because that's all I watched was the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. I haven't watched DX or this and that, and at that point I just didn't give a shit, because you know who wasn't in the fucking shows at that point? Fucking Yugi! The goddamn Pharaoh! He was nowhere in those shows. I'm like, who gives a shit? I don't think even Kaiba was in there. But I was kind of told to watch this, so I'm gonna give it a go, especially given the fact that we might be reviewing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie, possibly in May. No promises, but it is in the works with me and Josh. But you know, little video to do, a little side movie to watch. If you want me to see this as an opening night, let me know. I could definitely put this on and watch it. I think that'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, so I got Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side Dimensions, and I also got a copy for Josh because he wanted one, so that's pretty cool. So that's been happening. Other than that, it's been rather quiet. It's been very chill. I finally been getting back to work. I've got my next con review I'm still working on. I'd say it's about halfway done. And it will be released hopefully in March. I'm hoping to put out a trailer soon to at least get people excited that we're coming back with 2 new reviews. But they're both in the can. They're both filmed. I'm just finishing up editing, and then I'm going to be getting a few cameos, and hopefully those will be out in March. So you can look forward to 2 new Kong reviews coming in the mere days. Hell, I might even next week, depending on how I'm doing, I might consider doing a live stream showing you guys the making of an episode. Meaning we'll be filming while we're live streaming to give you guys a little behind the scenes. If you guys want to see that, let me know. But yeah, we're going to be just finishing up any little touches in the next few days. So that's pretty cool. I'm also going to be doing more photo shoots and some videos this weekend with Looney Chi Bunny, which you guys, please go subscribe to her YouTube channel. Anybody who watches my channel, please do me a favor and go subscribe to her. She really wants to get into YouTube, and we want to get her up to 1,000 subscribers so she can eventually start making money on here. So any help is appreciated. We're gonna get her Patreon up soon. So any support you can. She's been a wonderful friend, a great help with the projects. So she's coming up this weekend. We're gonna try to maybe shoot some stuff and so on. So that's pretty cool. So that's what's been happening. We're getting back to work. It's really exciting. And then on top of that, I've gotten pretty much my entire shooting schedule for the rest of winter, as well as essentially the entire shooting schedule of locations for the Star Wars prequels. Now, we have been in production since May of last year. In May 2019, we have been in production, shooting very slowly, but because we want to make it look good and we want to wait for the times of years and everything, because we're traveling from planet to planet, depending on people's schedules, which are a little bit slower than usual, but we're getting back on it. So I pretty much labeled down the entire shooting schedule in terms of locations. No dates set yet, but definitely on locations. And hell, depending on where we shoot, I might live stream it. If you guys would like to see us live stream behind the scenes on Star Wars, let us know. We may not be there to talk, but you get to see kind of what it's like behind the scenes. I'll probably have somebody on hand to do that. So that's what's been happening. Star Wars is getting back into production. I've also got the rest of my winter productions ready to go. We're just finding a time to shoot it, especially before spring starts. I do want to get some shots done, most notably for future reviews that take place in the snow, so hopefully that happens. So there's that. And then I'm also probably going to be taking the next week or two to also finish up scripts. I've got to figure out my schedule for shooting Batman. I've got to figure out my schedule for the season finale. To be honest, guys, I have the season finale in my head of how I want it done and what I want to do. However, I have no script. And I want to write it myself. I don't need a hand. It's all good, guys. But I want to take my time on this season finale script because I really want it to be entertaining for you guys. I want you guys to see how big this show's going to get. But it's going to be filmed in the course of this year. Like a course of a year, we're going to be filming it all throughout because we're going to be filming it at certain events, or we're going to film it at certain locations and a couple of extras. But hopefully something like that is going to happen. Review Kick-Ass Suits of Urbaness. You know, I've considered it. I probably won't touch the third one, but I've considered those two. In fact, funny enough, behind the scenes, Josh and I have been discussing, this is going to sound really bad, but we were discussing the maybe potential of an idea that's kind of circling around of us doing a sequel to Suburban Nights. Yeah. It'd be funny because we're thinking about calling it like the unofficial quest or the unofficial sequel or something. We want to do something like that where we feel like there's a potential to continue where that film left off that that group of reviewers did, and doing like sort of a sequel to that. But we'd have to, but even we've gotten even to the point where Josh and I have considered going down to Chicago and going to where the original filming locations were on that production and just getting some reference and everything. But on top of that, even like, but it depends on our schedule. What I'm thinking is if I can make it to G-Fest this year in Chicago, what I could probably do is go, like, after the con, go to those locations and get reference and, you know, and visit a few people who maybe worked on it and see if they would be up for helping us out. Why is Clint Eastwood in the background? Because I needed a thumbnail that looked catchy, and on top of that, I have a Clint Eastwood cosplay pretty much done. So that's going to be premiering at Comic-Con. So anyway, so that's kind of what we're thinking about. We've got a few ideas floating around now that productions are starting to get back in, and we're excited. And yeah, the Academy Awards were this weekend, so I actually want to talk about that quickly. So the Oscars, it's funny because I have not watched the Oscars fully in a couple of years because I always felt they were going downhill. I think the last full Oscar show I watched was probably when Seth MacFarlane hosted. Because I felt he was the funniest host they had in a while. After that, I just gave up. And I found them not funny, they weren't entertaining, and I didn't care for them. And I just waited to see the results afterwards. Because the jokes were corny, and the nominations were just kind of they weren't pushing the boundaries. And I actually watched this year's Academy Awards, and I thought, wow, it was actually a good show. I loved Steve Martin and Chris Rock's opening monologue where they were talking about how they're not hosting yet. They're roasting the shit out of everybody. I love how Cats in all the award season is just getting trashed because it's so bad. I haven't seen it, but I know a lot of people who have. But I kind of want to see it just for curiosity's sakes on that. This year's Oscars were the least entertaining and barely paid any attention to it. Plus the new cutoff at 10, so found out one Best Actor. Well, I'll put it like this, too. There were a couple bits in the ceremonies I liked. I love the whole bit with Cats. There were a couple of good, funny moments. I was actually very surprised with a lot of the winners. Do I think Parasite deserved Best Picture? Look, Best Picture is really something you can't predict and you can't want. It all depends on the scenario. I am very happy Joker won for Best Actor Joaquin Phoenix because he did such a phenomenal job with that. And I'm actually surprised it got Best Original Score. That was a shock for me. In terms of Joker, if it had won Best Picture, here's my thoughts on that. I feel like all the awards it was nominated for, yeah, it deserved the nomination. Cinematography, editing, and, production design. Well, I'll get to production design. Adapted screenplay, a complete tribute to Bob Kane and Bill Finger, the original Batman creators. Man, if that had won, I would have been very, very happy. But we're still not yet to the breaking the mold of comic book films winning a Best Picture. Now, I feel like fantasy broke the mold of geek stuff winning Best Picture. Because to this day, I still consider, out of all the movies in cinema history that rightfully deserved every award it got, including Best Picture. Where is it? The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, to this day, to me, deserved every award it got, and it was the only film I could think of that deservingly earned Best Picture. Like, this is probably, not only because it's a great ending to a great trilogy, and to a great set of movies, push the boundaries of special effects and where films can be shot. This put New Zealand on the map. Peter Jackson is now one of my personal heroes because of it. It got me into fantasy, but on top of that, it broke the mold in terms of geek stuff winning for big awards. And on top of that, probably easily one of my favorite movie-going experiences was Return of the King. I saw that 4 times in the cinema. The Charge of the Heron is one of the greatest film scenes I've ever seen in my life, because that was just pure nutting gold on screen. I was just, the whole time, like, if I could describe a movie that can be the definition for the word awesome, it's Return of the King, or cool. Every other scene in this movie, you're just so jaw-dropped by, you're just like when Legolas is going Fred Flintstone down the fucking elephant and killing all of them, when Gandalf's shining the light at the Nazgul, when Sam's beating up Shelob in the battles, and like the Black Gates of Mordor, when Aragorn like takes fucking Andriel out, is like for Frodo, and they're charging in, and the Lord of the Rings theme comes in, and oh my god, and it's like, every scene in that movie, you're just jaw-dropping, you're just like, oh my god, that's so fucking cool! It's the definition of it. And yeah, this movie deserved every award it got. Best Picture to the fucking degree. And probably one of my favorite films. Like, the whole trilogy is one of my favorite films. I fucking love Lord of the Rings. But it's the only... And there were a couple of things I was upset with. How the fuck does Sean Astin not get nominated for Best Supporting Actor? If there's a one thing he deserved that award. In fact, I know Sean Astin's going to be at Fan Expo in August, September, along with Elijah Wood and Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd, and I might go to that. I might go to their event, but I want to meet Sean Astin. I've met him a couple times. But I actually want to order a replica of an Academy Award and get plaqued into it, Sean Astin, Best Supporting Actor, and just hand it to him. Because he fucking deserves that. More so than Ian McKellen in Fellowship. But anyway, so, to the Oscars this year. In terms of Joker, if it had won Best Picture, and the fact it was nominated, here's my thoughts. Does it deserve it more than Black Panther? Yes. I agree with that. Black Panther, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't give an opinion. Because I'm more of a DC guy, I preferred Joker over that already. However, as much as it deserved it more than Black Panther, it deserved it less. So, get to the point. It deserved it more. Joker deserved it more than Black Panther. But you know what it didn't deserve it more than? A film that came out almost a decade before. The Dark Knight. The Academy fucked up big time in 2008. Heath Ledger deserving Best Supporting Actor? Abso-fucking-lutely. But the fact that this movie broke the grounds of comic book films. It was a marvelous film. It's just a film. It's great. And the fact that they fucked up. They trashed it for not getting Best Picture. Even Hugh Jackman in the opening ceremonies sings a musical number, and he's on like a cardboard like bat pod, and he's like, you know, how come comic book movies never get nominated? How could $1 billion be unsophisticated? Great song, by the way. And also, I love how they kind of mash like the Adam West show, which, you know, as much as we love Batman, as much darkness as Batman ever gets, you're never gonna get away from Batman. But fuck, man, The Dark Knight deserved Best Picture more than Joker, and this was a decade ago. How the Academy screwed this up, I have no idea. So, I feel like Joker, it got the awards it should have gotten. I can agree with all that. And also, I feel like it got snubbed production design, because the production and design on that film was sheer brilliance. Now, in terms of Parasite winning Best Picture, you know what? The Academy is, forgive my language, but the Academy is really still filled with boomers. To the point that they only decide on movies that kind of go to what they like. They're not into the comic book films. They're not into this and that. And we're slowly getting there to where filmmakers now are going to start getting into that. Into the Academy. So, for me, it's more... I feel like, in terms of Parasite winning, hey, if the Academy liked it, they liked it. It broke ground, because you know what? technically to be the first foreign language film, the first foreign film, the first Korean film to win Best Picture. I'm like, you know what? Congrats. I'm okay with that. I have yet to see Parasite, although funny enough, it doesn't sound like a film it's promising, which is supposed to be about like politics or social class or something. I haven't seen Parasite, but it sounds more like a film about a killer parasite. It sounds like a remake of what was that movie? The Tingler with Vincent Price. It sounds like a remake of The Tingler, but it's like a parasite on your back. That's what it sounds like to me. I have no idea. It sounds like a mix of The Tingler meets The Host with that weird tadpole creature. I don't know. I haven't seen anything of it, but hey, if it deserved Best Picture, rightfully so. And you know what? That director and that producer who made it, he sounded like he was a pretty happy guy. So props to him. And you know what? People are upset like, hey, it didn't deserve Best Picture, this and that. Look, guys, just let the Koreans have one for once. Let them have their win, and then we can move on to other things. And I'm happy for them. Hell, Guillermo del Toro broke the ground of best picture for sci-fi films. Something that Star Wars couldn't do. And that movie was just a Pornhub remake of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's a Wood Rocket version of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, Del Toro. You're one of our greatest filmmakers, but man, you went that far, dude. God. So yeah, like, the Best Picture nominees have been 50-50 for me. Don't feel like Green Book deserved Best Picture, because that was just a redo of fucking Driving Miss Daisy, honestly. That's not cool. But it is! It's the Wood Rocket version of Creature from the Black Lagoon, Huey. Come on. You know, come on. Not that to that extent. And yeah, I agree. Del Toro deserved the Oscar. He definitely did. And you know what? I'll say this. I loved his speech about this goes out to all future filmmakers, because for once they were speaking to me saying, you can do this too. I didn't mean to sound like it was offend you, Huey, but yeah, he deserved that nominee. That was a good movie. I really enjoyed that. The Shape of Water. So I really enjoyed that. So for me, it was, this year's Academy Awards was pretty fun. I loved seeing fucking Randy Newman perform. That was great. Elton John performed. He's one of my favorite artists. What shocked me, and that's where I was like, okay, I'm sold on this whole show. They're showing all the best original songs and songs that are that are so iconic to films. So, you know, Don't You Forget About Me from, I can't remember, was it like Breakfast Club? There was what is it? What's the name of the song? The song from Ghost where they're like doing the clay pots. Fucking love that shit. Like, that was great. And a few other things. There were some great kind of Power of Love. They played Power of Love from Back to the Future. I'm like, yes, come on. Unchained Melody. They played some great hits during that monologue. And then they start. What is it? They start playing they start showing footage from 8 Mile. Yeah, Footloose, that was good too. Funny enough, Huey, I actually didn't mind the remake. I mean, I like the original, but I didn't mind the remake. I thought it was decent. But anyway, so to the point, so they're starting showing the footage from 8 Mile. And then they start playing the opening, like they start playing obviously an orchestral version of Lose Yourself. Now, that I wouldn't mind if it was part of the montage, but it kept going. And it wasn't just like a bit of it. They started the beginning of the song. And as the scene dragged, I'm like, no, this is, I knew exactly where it was going. And then when that beat dropped and we cut to the stage, and fucking Eminem does a whole stage show of Lose Yourself. Me and my mom, we were watching with my mom, we lost our collective shit. Okay, I don't care, whatever your opinion is of Eminem, I fucking love the guy. He's a great artist. I love his songs. Not much now, but more of his early stuff, like from 8 Mile to like around early to mid 2000s. Really love a lot of his content. And especially because I listened to it on the radio during high school. And so on. So, that just blew me up. And I was like, everybody was singing along. I was singing along. Great fucking song. And I was just, at that point, I'm like, take my money. This is one of the best Academy Awards in a long time. Fucking loved that. But it was also great to hear Randy Newman perform. Toy Story 4 earning Best Animated Feature, I felt was a little too safe. Though, to be fair, that was really the only animated film I saw all year. And yes, I know you want me to talk about How to Train Your Dragon. I get it. I will get to that at some point, buddy. David, I will get to reviewing those. And I'll do those for opening nights. Because at least you gave me the movies, and I might as well take a look at them. So, yeah, like, I mean, so Toy Story 4 getting, winning Best Animated Feature, I don't know. I mean, there were some, obviously a lot of people had different opinions. A lot of people thought How to Train Your Dragon should have won. And I know there were a lot of stop motion, nominees. None of them I saw. And really when it comes to animated shorts, I'm really only a fan if it's Pixar or if it's Aardman. Aardman and Pixar are my two go-to guys. But yeah, it was alright. Like, I mean, I liked Toy Story 4. I mean, it wasn't as good as 3, obviously. 3 deserved it more. But it was way better than 2, surprisingly. That's kind of my opinion on it. It's not as good as 3, but it's better than 2. In fact, I'll say this. Toy Story 4 is equally the funniest film in the entire franchise. It is hilarious. So with Evan, you can check out our opening night on it, and we were laughing our asses off. Like, that was hilarious. Now if they make a 5th one, at that point I'm just like, stop. Stop. Stop or make it about Buzz Lightyear. Because that's my biggest gripe with the Toy Story movies. They've always focused on Woody. I think especially after Toy Story 2, they really struggled what to do with Buzz Lightyear. Like, they really struggled with him. 3 and 4 are the biggest offenders of, like, treating Buzz essentially as, like, secondary comic relief. I feel like if they do another film, if they do, I doubt they will, I want it to be Buzz-centric. I want a story about Buzz Lightyear. I want to see, like, sort of his Woody's Roundup gang. Hell, bring back the characters from the Buzz Lightyear Star Command TV show. That show was great, and the movie was great. Like, the animated film, I actually kind of like that. But in terms of, yeah, like, Buzz, like, I want them to do a Buzz-centric story, is just all I would be asking for. No more Woody. Woody's done. Let him move on. Let's focus on Buzz Lightyear. If they do a 5th film. Gonna review the Adam West Batman movie or TV show. Not at the moment. I'm more focused on the 2 Burton films, but maybe if time passes and I review more Batman movies, I might take a look at it. Because I do like the Adam West show. I don't know what Nick Gurr is. Do you have any thoughts on the... Shit, the comments are going by like crazy. Holy crap. Thoughts on the original King Kong film entering the U.S. public domain by the end of this decade? Really? Is it actually? I don't know. Well, I don't know about that. Because it felt like, even when freaking, what is it? Are they actually putting it in the public domain? Are you serious? Because if they are, it's like, sorry, my head just had a stroke there. Anyway, so the thing is with Kong is, like, even in the 80s and whatever, like, when VHS was popular, I'll just pull out one for example. When VHS was huge in the 80s and 90s, Kong was, I'll just bring out these 2 Kong tapes I have. Kong was released several times on VHS, and at that point I always felt it must have been in the public domain for a while. Like, just to give you an example, here's one of the first versions on VHS. This was released in 1986. This is right around the time King Kong Lives came out. But this one, there are several companies that made this. This is by Nostalgia Merchant. And they made, they put it out on Super 8 and, 16 millimeter. But then they put it out on Beta, and then they transferred it over to VHS. So there was this one. But then there was, other films. Then Ted Turner bought it. Turner got it, and they released it in the RKO collection. Thankfully, this one's actually sealed, which is pretty cool. That one's sealed. And then they released it again with the colorized edition. Yes, I own the colorized edition. It's kind of weird that way because, then Warner Brothers owned it, and then this owned it. It's like, you know what? Put it in the public domain. Put it up there with The Lost World. So for me, it's kind of weird, but I think right now the film rights to Kong are currently, I believe, in, what is it, I believe, yeah, it's the rights are in Warner Brothers or something, right? I doubt they want to, give the right, it's weird, because, so many people own the rights to Kong. So many people own the rights. And I think, honestly, it's kind of, yeah, put it in the public domain. I really don't know. That question just completely stroked me out. I apologize, people. So, yeah, Academy Awards were okay. I was okay with that. Let's see here. Thoughts on Prehistoric Park? I have not seen that. I know Huey Two More covered it on his top 10 animated dinosaur documentaries, but I haven't watched it yet. I know it's like Crocodile Hunter meets Walking with Dinosaurs, essentially, which, how the fuck they never did that with Steve, I have no idea. Do I ride a skateboard? No, I am a terrible balancer. Even going back to when I was a kid doing ice skating, couldn't do it. Rollerblading, can't do it. Skateboard, can't do it. Scooter's the closest thing. And even then, I don't have my scooter anymore. I used to have one of those that actually would spark on the ground. Ever heard of Republic Commando? That is actually on my list of games to play. Because I'm a big Star Wars gamer. I like a lot of stuff. I don't play any of the new EA games or any of that shit. Refuse to get new consoles. But for me, I've always been a Star Wars gamer. I really enjoyed the Super Nintendo Super Star Wars trilogy. Really enjoy Rogue Squadron for the Nintendo 64. Really enjoy Dark Shadows for PS1. But honestly, my favorite Star Wars game is the original Battlefront 2 for Xbox. That is my second favorite game of all time. So I'm a big Star Wars gamer. Maybe I'll take a look at Republic Commando if I ever get a chance to. Let's see. Thoughts on Ceratosaurus? I mean, I've not been into Papo. I've seen the figures. They're really nice figures, but they're not really my thing. Do you watch Up From the Depths review of Kong 76? Yeah, I actually did. Thank you for sending me that, Huey. I thought it was a fair review. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to what they want to watch and what their opinions are on shit. So for me, I actually thought his review was actually pretty solid. It was actually not too bad. It was a pretty good set of a review. I thought what was it? I thought his opinion was actually fair. He did have his criticisms. He said it was dull and everything, which I understand. But I did like that he wasn't completely bashing. I think we're actually past the point of big-time movie reviewers essentially being overtly bashing, saying it's a piece of shit, saying it's this, saying it's that. And I feel like that time is over because you could still not like a film, but still say what you liked about it. And that's what Up From the Depths did. He talked about, I really liked how he talked about the chemistry between Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges. They were really good in that. And then there was also, what was it? There was talking about Charles Grodin, talking about the great special effects for the time. Yeah, it was overall pretty good. It was a really good review. I do disagree a little bit with his opinion on it saying it's dull. In fact, I don't think so. I think it's a big, grand masterpiece. In fact, probably the biggest thing Dino De Laurentiis ever did. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this review. No, I am not. Well, I mean, again, I'm not going to get into the dramatic details behind the scenes, but I still do enjoy NC, and I really do enjoy his. I mean, so he's not as funny as he used to be, but I mean, Doug's a friend of mine, so I kind of like, I kind of respect what he's doing in terms of like the way he does his content, not really behind the scenes, but that's a different thing, and I really don't care. So yeah, I mean, I still like my fair share of reviewers. So anyway, and guys, can we please behave on the chat? Would really appreciate it. Thank you. I feel like a parent having to calm their kids down. Didn't like the fact that they turned one to an airhead in Kong 76. See, I don't see that. I don't even know what an airhead is. Is it when she's like freaking out and calling Kong a goddamn chauvinist pig ape? I don't know. I never saw that. I just saw a good character. I think saying airhead, and especially when I don't understand what that means, I don't get it. Let's see here. Tomorrow's going to be the 10-year anniversary of Wolfman, 2010. I have not seen that yet. I want to. Jumanji. Again, Huey, it's not on my to-do list, but I will think about it down the line. It's definitely not going to be this season. I don't know about the next season, but let's see what happens. I have not seen Incredibles 2 because, I mean, I kind of like the first one. Like, I really, I did like the first one when it came out. I went back and watched it again. I'm like, oh, the animation's not that good. But then after seeing the reviews of the second one, I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it. Pixar? Okay, here's the thing with Pixar. I'm very picky about what I watch from them now. Really, honestly, for me, Pixar, it's more, I'd rather watch, I feel like it ended after Toy Story 3. For me, Pixar, in terms of their great run, ended after Toy Story 3. Because then they did Cars 2, which was meh. Monsters University, again, meh. I'm like, why not do a sequel where Boo's an adult? Where Boo's grown up? That would have been interesting. Like, Brave I thought was okay, but it felt more like something Disney would do as part of their animation department. And everything else I just skipped out on. I know Coco's great. I've heard Inside Out is fantastic, even though it's just Osmosis Jones. But I really thought it was just Like, Pixar's been lately. Hell, I haven't even seen Cars 3. And all I know is that Lightning McQueen dies or something. I don't know. Airhead is a silly, foolish person who's also a dummy. I disagree with that. I disagree with one being a dummy. I really feel like she's just more of a character who was in one life but got put into another. And she's now trying to find her place in that life, but it turns out to be something that is completely over her head. If that's what you mean by an airhead, fine. But in terms of her being stupid, no. I thought Jessica Lange really did well with that film. And plus, she looked great. She looked I think out of all the women Kong has essentially dated, she's the best looking, not gonna lie. Like, hell, like, honestly, like, I would love to meet Jessica Lange. If she ever came to a Comic-Con here in Toronto, I'd be like, I don't care how much money she's paying. I will take my Kong poster. I will have her sign it. I will want photos. I will want to talk to her. I will pay whatever it is to have like an hour conversation with Jessica Lange. Just to talk about the film. Because it's funny too, because Lange has been very quiet about that film. Even though that is the film that essentially made her famous. It got her to stardom. She's been very quiet about it, and I think it's because she's a little bit ashamed of it. And maybe it's because of the criticism at the time, but if I went up to Jessica Lange, I'd say, look, everything you've done is great. I love Rob Roy. Rob Roy, oh my god, guys, if you guys have not seen Rob Roy, you guys are missing out. Where the fuck is that DVD of Rob Roy? Fuck it, I don't have it right now. Rob Roy's pretty much sort of a Braveheart knockoff, but it's a good one, because you got Liam Neeson, Jessica Lange, Tim Roth. Oh my god. But Lange is great in that. But I think I would talk to her about that, obviously, because that's one of my favorite historical films. But I would talk to her about Calling, and I would be like, I don't know why you've been very quiet about it, but I think you were fucking fantastic. In fact, I would tell her she was the best, like, she's equal to Fay Wray. And I would just tell her, like, look, you really, that is a great film. It's my favorite film. And, and it's funny too because I expect the same reaction to when I met Linda Hamilton. Yes, I've met Linda Hamilton and I have met Michael Biehn. They were both at a con together, and I talked to Linda Hamilton actually, like, because I went up to her and said, you look fantastic," and she said, "Oh, thank you very much," because I guess because she's a little older, she didn't see that much. I'm just trying to be nice. But I was telling her, like, look, love you in Terminator, great movie, but you know what? My money's always my favorite movie you've done, King Kong Lives. And she looked at me like, "You like that piece of crap?" And, I thought she was really good in that. And she was very taken back because not many people talked to her about that film. And she told me that, "I'm really surprised and I'm very flattered that a young guy like yourself," because I was probably like 18, 19 when I met her, "that a young guy like you actually enjoyed that. Enjoyed that film." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a decent sequel. It's a decent film. I liked it." And she was very complimentary, very nice. So I expect kind of the same thing with Lange. She's going to be looking at me like, "You're such a young guy. Why would you like something like that?" It's like, I grew up with it. And I think it's weird because I'm really thinking about why I enjoy 76. And again, it's mostly for the scope, the cinematography, the locations, the effects. But I think more so also for me, the reason I love it so much is because it brings Kong to the modern age. Like, obviously people say, Kong's like a fairy tale. Oh, it only takes place in 1933, back when old talkie pictures were the big thing and exploration was all out in the unknown. But it's like, Kong 76 really kind of brought in, how can you tell the story in a modern era with modern technology, with modern day exploration and how things work? And in that sense, the movie does it brilliantly. In fact, to me, the film is iconic for a number of reasons. One, because of that, but also because it gave birth to two of the greatest rides of all time at the Universal Studios theme parks. Now, I never rode the King Kong Encounter, but I rode Kongfrontation. And looking back on it, you could see a lot of 76 in that film, and kind of comparing it, because Kongfrontation is still my favorite ride of all time, and the fact that it kind of brought me into watching 76 more, I can appreciate it. And it just feels more real, it feels more realistic. I really enjoyed it. And that's just kind of the reason I love it so much. It's because it's a fairy tale brought to the present time. It's not like that piece of crap Romeo and Juliet remake with fucking Leo DiCaprio. Now, I love Leo DiCaprio, but that movie, that remake was awful. Setting that in modern times? Fuck no. Don't put Romeo and Juliet in modern times. Put that in the 17th century shit in Italy or whatever. When that's supposed to take place. The Dino De Laurentiis' Romeo and Juliet is still the best adaptation. Hell, I'd rather watch the Hey Arnold Romeo and Juliet episode than watch the Leo DiCaprio film again. Yeah, I like Shakespeare. And hell, you know what? I really like Shakespeare in Love. What an underrated film nowadays. Underrated film. So, there's that. Let's see. It's interesting, but it fails, Brian. It fails on so many levels. It just doesn't work. And I think the other reason I like it set in the Renaissance era, because it's in the Renaissance. There's sword fighting and shit in the streets. Fucking love that stuff. The duel between Romeo, Tybalt, and Mercutio, great sword fight. Great sword fight brought to the stage and screen. If you watch the Dino De Laurentiis version, he's played by Basil from Austin Powers. Was it Tipple or Mercutio? He's played by fucking Basil from Austin Powers. Hell, that guy was D'Artagnan in, I think, The Hammer, Three Musketeers with Christopher Lee. I'm sorry, every time I see that actor, all I think is Basil. If I ever review movies with him, I'm going to be like, "What's happening? Oh, hi, what's happening, Basil?" And he's going to be like, "A lot is happening, BigJackFilms." I freaking love Basil and Austin Powers. Yeah, see how this is me when I talk about movies. I jump from one to another. $1 million. It's funny enough. I'll put it like this, guys. It's not on my to-do list. as Mike Myers would say. It's not on my to-do list. Michael York, thank you. But hypothetically, if I ever review the Austin Powers trilogy, if you guys would want to see me review the Austin Powers trilogy, it would be when the fourth film eventually comes out. I'm not gonna lie. Your expectations are as much as waiting for Austin Powers 4, which has been almost 20 years for one. For me, if I review it, though, there's a guy, a friend of mine. He goes by the name of Steve, but he cosplays Dr. Evil. And it's a great Dr. Evil. And he's also known here in Canada as Dr. Stevel. If I ever review the Austin Powers film, I will get a Dr. Evil character in the reviews. You have my word on that. I will make that happen. Hypothetically, if I ever review Austin Powers, I should call him Mini-Me. Island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah. So I love Michael York. Yeah, Michael York is great. But yeah, that's just all I'm gonna think is Basil from Austin Powers. That's all I'm gonna think. And also, like if I ever review Hammer's Three Musketeers, the Dion de Laurentiis Romeo and Juliet, and Land Before Time 7, The Stone of Cold Fire, which is where I fucking gave up on that franchise because he's the voice of Toronto. It'll be like, hi, Basilsaurus, what's happening? A lot is happening, Austin. Friggin'. I love how the conversation has gone from nothing but Basil from Austin Powers. Oh my god. These live streams, man, they go everywhere. Do I have the Ghostbusters movie? Yes, I do. I have them right here. Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2, I do not have Answer the Call because that movie is a piece of shit. And not because there are women, it's because it's a badly written movie. It's because the jokes are terrible. I have no problem with female Ghostbusters, but I do have a problem with a shitty screenplay with bad jokes. Terrible fucking movie. What an awful film. And not for the reasons everybody thinks it is. Four Musketeers is great. I do like that. Four Musketeers is a good sequel. I love the ending when, again, Basil, I'm sorry, I know his name's Michael York. Fuck it, I'm calling him Basil. Goes up to fucking Saruman the Captain, Saruman the Pirate. It's Christopher Lee. And he just charges up, he's like, you murderer! And he goes like, bastard! I love Michael York, but there's times he can't act, man. He can't emote. Just stay as a butler or something. Michael Caine was the best thing in Austin Powers 3. He was good. I think for me, my favorite... I'll put it like this. Because I haven't seen the Austin Powers movies since they came out. Like, I've seen them on TV, but I haven't watched them fully. My favorite character, believe it or not, is Felicity from the second film. Now, I forget what her name is, the actress who plays her, Felicity in The Spy Who Shagged Me. I forget who plays her. What a goddamn gorgeous woman. What a beautiful woman. In fact, last movie I think I saw her in was The Hangover. She still looked good. Heather Graham. Oh my god, she still looked good in The Hangover. She's such a great actress, completely underused. But damn, I love hippies. Hippies are the coolest people in the world. Flower children, whatever you want to call them. They're fucking awesome. My parents were hippies. So fucking cool. So that character's just great because she's not only a woman doing her mission, like her mission to save the world, but also she's a hippie. She has fun. She's adventurous. Like hell. If they had done a Dragon Ball movie in the 90s, she would either be a fantastic Bulma or a fantastic Android 18. I'm not going to lie there, guys. She'd be great at either one of those. If they had made it in the 90s. Not now, obviously. Unless they did Dragon Ball GT. She'd be a good old Bulma. But, yeah, like, she's still fantastic actress. So she was my favorite character in the series. I liked Mini-Me. The actor was so good. And I forgot what his name is, but he was a great guy. And I like Scott. I like Scott only because I always related to Scott. And on top of that, That was the first time I ever heard of Seth Green. And since then, I've become a fan of his work. I fucking love Robot Chicken. I know it's not as funny as it used to be, but I still enjoy Robot Chicken. I still like how they just trash your childhood. Freaking love Robot Chicken. You know, like him as Chris and Family Guy, and then I went and watched the '90s It movie, and I'm like, oh hey, it's Seth Green. And like, if I review that movie, I'd be like, hey Scott, how you doing, sport? Whoa. So it's weird because I always liked I found the second one to be the best of that trilogy. However, I found the third one, like the third one's still funny. The third one's still legitimately funny, but it feels like it was on repeat it was following the same formulas of the last two, and more so the second one. It's kind of suffers from Terminator 2 syndrome, where the sequel tries to be the second film again. And that's where it kind of, like, bothered me a little bit. Because it's the same repetitive jokes. Like, and I feel like they did try a little too hard. The mole joke I couldn't stand. That was, like, okay, it was funny the first time, but then it got really annoying. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the Godzilla scene made the movie for me. And I can see why they did it. Because it was Sony. And at the time, they still owned the Godzilla. They still owned the American movie rights to Godzilla, so it made sense to make that joke. And I think that's why they got away with it. Because they were not only shooting in Tokyo, they were doing a Godzilla reference. And by the way, the guy who's like, it looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright law, was that the guy from Heroes? I feel like that was the guy from Heroes. I feel like it was. But, yeah, like, I enjoy Goldmember. But, yeah, that's where I felt the jokes got a little too childish. And there were a lot of movie parodies in that one. More so than the first two. Because the movie parodies were just completely outlandish. You're doing, like, The Matrix, and, although I love that fake, like, trailer at the beginning, because when I was a kid watching those movies, I actually took them seriously. I didn't know what comedy was at that point. But when I watched it, I actually was fooled, because I'm like, wait, why is Tom Cruise? Because I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's an awesome action scene. And then when Tom Cruise comes out as Austin Powers, I'm like, wait, what? And then, like, they have, like, what is it, Gwyneth Paltrow, weirdo Gwyneth Paltrow now come out, and you got, like, Kevin Spacey as Dr. Evil, and fucking Danny DeVito as Mini-Me. He's like, hey, assholes, I'm right up here, a Mini-Me. And Steven Spielberg, I'm like, that blew me away. And that was the first time I think I was ever exposed to any kind of studio-based, like, how movies are made, which was kind of cool. So they have a lot of, like, there was too much 007, too much, you know, Matrix and Godzilla and, you know, other things. Obviously, the title was a spoof of Goldfinger, one of the Bond movies. There was too many movie references in that one, I felt. To where the point they didn't really have their own comedy. And probably it was the most fourth wall of the films. There were so many times they're like, yeah, we get it, you're in a movie. More so than something like Spaceballs. Because, like, I think it was the one where he, you know, uses the time machine, the Pimpmobile, right? And goes back to the 70s. And Michael York, or Basil, is like, you know, it's like, I suggest you hold on. That goes for you guys at home as well. And, like, Austin Powers like, yes. See, there was that. There was the making of the movie. There was the movie within the movie. There was a lot of fourth wall in that one. I felt like the movie kind of lost itself a little bit there. But I still like Goldmember. It's still a decent film. It's still kind of funny. I think the one line that has really resonated with me now from that film is when Goldmember's like, would you like a smoke and a pancake? And, you know, he's showing all that. And then he says the line, ha! Well, then there's no pleasing you then. And I sum that out for every single fandom right now. Everyone. Especially Star Wars. Not gonna lie, fandom, Star Wars fans, you've really disappointed me. I've come to realize what you are. You haven't been happy for 25 years since the special editions. Not gonna lie. So, when Goldmember says, there is no pleasing you then, that is applying to you guys. To you 10% Star Wars extremists. No matter what they do, you're not going to be happy. So it's like, fuck it. So that's me talking about Austin Powers for a good 20 minutes. Alright, so we're entering the hour mark. I'm probably going to cut this off. So I am going to do 3 more questions and I'm going to head out. How would you rank all of the Indiana Jones films? My personal favorite has always been Raiders. Really like Raiders. I really enjoyed... I'm one of the biggest defenders of Temple of Doom. I like Temple of Doom. Last Crusade, I feel, is a little bit too long, but I do enjoy Last Crusade. Crystal Skull is still the worst one. But there are parts in Crystal Skull I like. Like, you know what? That jungle chase scene in Crystal Skull is fucking fun. That is a great chase scene. That sword fight on the 2 cars, you know, it's like step repulse, and Shia LaBeouf's like, this isn't a match, Mom. I like that scene. And it reminded me a lot of the 96 Kong script, when, like, they were supposed to chase through the jungle. That was a great scene. I like the whole scene where the Ark of the Covenant is covered. But I enjoy the Indiana Jones movie. Let's see what happens with 5. Now that George isn't there to say, let's put aliens in it, I think we're in good hands. And yes, I do feel like this should be Ford's last indie film. And you know what? Hell, I'll say this. Kill him off. Kill off Indiana Jones in the 5th film. Make it his last adventure. And, you know, maybe he, like, just dies of old age or something happens. But here's what I would suggest. Since Lucasfilm owns Indiana Jones now, they own everything Lucasfilm has touched. Howard the Duck, Labyrinth, Willow, whatever. Can we go the route of James Bond and just recast Indiana Jones every few years? I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with them recasting, like, Bond. And you know what? My first choice to play a new Indiana Jones, like the next Indiana Jones, Chris Pratt. He has all the charisma of Harrison Ford. He'd be of Indiana Jones. You watch Jurassic World? He's basically Indiana Jones. He's got the charisma for it. I think he would be a good choice. Now, I'm not talking about remaking Raiders or remaking the franchise. No. New adventures with a new cast, a new actor. Don't rely on the continuity. You can tell all kinds of adventures. You know, hell, you know, like, look at, like, you know what, my biggest example of that, look at, what was it, the Lego Adventurers, sets. The Lego Adventurers sets with Johnny Thunder, aka the Lego version of Indiana Jones before Lego Indiana Jones. He went on all kinds of adventures. He was, you know, he was fighting mummies. He went to India. He was fighting Yetis and shit. He was kind of like Rick O'Connell. But the fucker went to a dinosaur island. You know what'd be a great movie? Indiana Jones and you know, The Voyage to the Lost World. Combine Indiana Jones with Arthur Conan Doyle. That'd be amazing. You know, have him go to an island or go to, like, a plateau filled with dinosaurs to seek a lost treasure. You know, or maybe they're searching for a lost treasure, but then there's dinosaurs in it. Go all out. I'd accept dinosaurs more than I would aliens. You know, like, you're not going to do Indiana Jones in the 60s fighting hippies. That's stupid. And that's another rule with Indiana Jones. Stick to the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, and 40s. That's really your time gap of making Jones movies. So if you just recast them and you redo it and you just tell a variety of different adventures without any continuity, you could have a good franchise that people would keep coming back for. It's like, because they're all one consistent series. They're all one consistent series of or one consistent film. Each plot. You can tell different stories. You can tell different adventures. Hell, yeah, like Huey said, have them find Excalibur. That'd be great. You know, get some Excalibur shit. Get some King Arthur mythology. Maybe get a dragon. Okay, that's a little bit too far, but get, like, some sort of, like, spiritual dragon. That'd be cool. You know, I'm trying to think of what else. Like, what other adventures could Indy go on finding lost artifacts? Have him fight mummies. I don't care. Maybe he finds, like, the Pharaoh of Egypt's ancient sacred stone or something. You can tell so many great stories with this character, but they don't have to be in continuity. That's the thing with Indiana Jones. You don't have to be with, you know, in that. The Staff of Moses, the Lost Atlantis. There you go. Shit, there's so many things he could do, and yet they want to stick to continuity. I'm like, You know what? This is why I like DC, because you know what? Fuck continuity. At this point, with something like Indiana Jones or something like DC, fuck continuity. There are exceptions. Star Wars, you gotta stay in continuity. Marvel continuity. Jurassic Park, continuity is key. But with DC and Indiana Jones or Bond, fuck continuity. You can do whatever you want. As long as you stay to the trueness of Indiana Jones or Bond or Batman. That's all you need to do. So that's my opinion on Indiana Jones. Maybe someday I'll take a look at it, but again, it's not on my to-do list. Okay, question number 2. Are you planning to get an Albertosaurus or Battle Damaged Spinosaurus from Mattel? I unfortunately cannot afford the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toys at this point. If I am going to, I'm going to get them like these. Secondhand. Secondhand stores are what to go to. Let's see. Okay, final question. Let's see here. Holy shit. Do you think they'll do episode 10? No, but that doesn't count as a question. Let's see here. I want to answer this question here. Okay, this is the final question from Good Old Movie Trailers. What's your favorite subgenre of film, like slashers, coming of age, kaiju, etc.? So, subgenres? Clarify that, because genres are very specific. Like, I like my spaghetti westerns. I do like my swashbucklers, my fantasies, monster movies, kaiju movies, anime. I consider a genre. I'm pretty much into everything. The only subgenre I don't like are political films. Really don't like them because they're boring. What about vampire films? I like my Dracula. I like my Dracula as long as it's classic Dracula. Bela Lugosi or Christopher Lee. I can't do... Gary Oldman was awful visually. And all these other ones. Like the problem with Dracula now, they won't do Lugosi. They won't do Christopher Lee. And that's what Dracula is to me. A guy in a suit, a cape, with the Bela Lugosi accent. He turns into a bat. He's killed by a stake or a crown of thorns. He maybe turns into a wolf. But he is essentially the Lord of Vampires. Don't go anywhere beyond anything else. I think the problem is people make him too overpowered or too big and too, 17th century looking like something out of King George. It's ridiculous. Make Dracula look like classic Dracula. Fuck everything else. And you know what? You gotta get a good actor to be Dracula. Like a Benedict Cumberbatch or a Charles Dance. Then it would be amazing Draculas. Or, hell, Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston as either Dracula or Dr. Frankenstein or Van Helsing. There you go. Your job is done. Why is it so hard for these classic monsters to get proper adaptations? Hell, like, look, the Invisible Man movie, I'm kind of 50-50 on. Like, okay, you're doing Invisible Man finally, but it looks like Hollow Man, and Hollow Man's a way better movie. A way better movie. That is a... Yeah, here, Hollow Man is the better remake of The Invisible Man. Fuck. Yeah, I have faith in Blumhouse. They've been putting out good products. Like, I'm really liking what they're doing with Halloween. But, I don't know. I want my classic... I want my Monster Squad, for fuck's sakes. I want that shit updated. All right, thoughts on... Final question from Huey. Final thoughts on Moranis returning for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot. The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids series, I've only seen the first 2 films, and I was on the ride at Disney, which scared the shit out of me, by the way. But I thought the first film was fun. I like the little ant thing and the sets. The sets are great. But it's funny enough, Huey, I'm a big defender and fan of Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. I think that's a decent sequel. And there's some great, fun stuff in that. I love the freaking Hot Wheels scene. That scene's awesome. I love, them, like, going down the laundry chute. And, like, the jokes are good. Like, I love they jump out of the laundry chute, and it's like, honey, I don't think we're using enough fabric softener. And they're going in the bubble thing. They land in the onion dip. That movie got me into eating onion dip with chips. I can't eat chips without onion dip now. That's a good sequel. It's a decent film. I like Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. It's got a great title, too. But But yeah, the Honey I Shrunk the Kids franchise is just kind of eh. I'm okay with Rick Moranis coming out of retirement. I'm really okay with that. Like, he kind of just disappeared for a bit. Maybe he'll come back. I heard he might be coming back for Ghostbusters Afterlife, which, aka Ghostbusters The Force Awakens, or The Gozer Awakens. But again, you gotta remember, guys, I'm a mild Ghostbusters fan. I mean, I just thought the first two were just but they're fun. The effects are great. I prefer the Ghostbusters show at Universal Studios, though. And then, okay, with Rick Moranis coming back, you know what? I'm a big defender of this movie. And Huey, you might have a problem with this, but I'm a big defender. I freaking love the live-action Flintstones movie. I freaking love that movie. That was my childhood. I love the Flintstones movie. The effects are fantastic. They still hold up. The sets are right out of the cartoon. I don't care what nostalgia critics say, oh, it's the Happy Meal toys on display. That's what they were, because I have the fucking Happy Meal toys. But the sets are great. The jokes are, it's a funny movie. The cast looks like, honestly, the cast in that first Flintstones movie looked like they were having fun. And that's probably because, the sets are amazing. Like had they left that there and made it part of Universal Studios tour or like a theme park, that would have been great. Like they look like a Universal Studios attraction. That's what I liked about it. The Dino effects were great, and the animatronics and the CGI. Like, this is early CG, but they use it sparingly. And John Goodman's an amazing Fred Flintstone. Rick Moranis, a little thin, but a good Barney. The only thing I do disagree with is Rosie O'Donnell as Betty. I can agree that was a very poor choice. Halle Berry looked amazing. You had the bad guy from Dune. And all that shit. Which one? Was it Art Carney or Harvey Korman as the bird? I can't remember which one it was. But it's a decent adaptation. It's a decent live-action adaptation of a cartoon. I'd rather watch that than Dragon Ball Evolution. And hell, you know what? I'll say this. I like the prequel. I like Viva Rock Vegas. As insanely terrifying visually as it is, it still follows in line with the first film. Yeah, so for me, it's like, I enjoy the Flintstones. Like, I grew up with the cartoon. Hell, I think a Flintstones Christmas Carol is the better adaptation of the Charles Dickens film. I like the Flintstones, and I like the live-action film. Plus, it's Universal Studios, so of course I'm gonna fucking like it. Maybe I'll take a look at the Flintstones movies down the line. Maybe for the 30th anniversary of Harvey Korman. All right. Maybe for the 30th anniversary of the live-action Flintstones movie in 2024, I'll take a look at it. Maybe that'll be a goal. And then I'll also look at Rock Vegas while we're at it. Because you know what? I enjoy those two films. Like, I saw Viva Rock Vegas in theaters. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I remember it being terribly promoted, though. Like, I remember, what was it? There was a point in the early 2000s where the song We Will Rock You by Queen was used in a lot of advertising. So they used that in Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas. But they also used it in Crocodile Hunter Collision Course, which they called it Croc You instead of Rock You. Yeah, it's kind of weird that way. So, yeah, maybe at some point I will take a look at those movies, because I do enjoy the Flintstones movies. I want to watch them again. I want to watch it with a bunch of guys. I'll just, get super, wasted and watch it and just laugh at how stupid it is. But I like them. I think just because, because here's the thing very quickly with movies. I'm a big fan of movies that use really big practical sets. I'm a big set guy. I'm a big set designer guy. If a movie has good production design and great set design, fucking love it. I can only think of a few that actually can be labeled as some of the greatest movie sets. Obviously Kong, the original Kong, is one of them. But things like Legend easily has the best sets in any movie. Hook probably has the biggest sets I've ever seen in a movie, because those are all on soundstage. The Pirate Village with the ship is huge. The Flintstones movie, there are only a few movies that I can say I love the set design in that film. I look at them like, that's an amazing set. Because the trick with me with a set, it has to make me want to actually go visit it. It makes me actually want to go in and be like, I'm going to go check out the set and see what it's like. It looks fun. It looks like a theme park. Hell, the live-action Grinch movie, despite what you think of it, the sets are beautiful in that film. The production design is great. Did they get nominated for I think they got nominated for production design. So, yeah, that's the thing with movie sets. They have to get me wanting to go check these places out. Like, if it was a theme park, in a way. It's like, I want to go check that out. So, yeah, there's that. So, that's it for this live stream, guys. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to try to keep these up. Hopefully next week you'll see us do a little behind the scenes look at one of our episodes. Like, you'll get to see us shooting on set, which would be kind of cool. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Of course, guys, please go support us on Patreon. $1 more will get you early access to all of our content as well as other special features. And you can also, get early access to our Inuyasha vlogs, which are aired a week before. Also go check out Lunichi Bunny. Please go subscribe to her channel. Go check out Huey's channel while you're at it too. I'm sure you can use the support. Maybe some stop motion down the line would be good in case I got any projects down the road. I do want to eventually try to do live streams on my computer so I can show you guys the editing process. But yeah, like, things are coming along. We're finally getting back to work. I really had fun with this live stream, and we actually went a little longer, which was great. Of course, if you guys want to send us any more questions, let us know in the comments. And if you guys want to send us questions through letters, gifts, donations, whatever, you can at this address: BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G1R0. We'd love to hear from you guys. And of course, one last bit of promotion. If you guys would like, for now, we're working on a DVD, a VHS copy of my remake of King Kong. Just send us a message via Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and we will send you our PayPal account, and you can donate to our PayPal, and we will have these. They're $5 plus shipping. So, until the next video, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. And tune in tomorrow, or, in this case, after this live stream, I don't know, where you will be seeing an opening night by our buddy JT is Reborn on the film Bad Boys for Life. So, until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, saying, our rock pun from the Flintstones. A lot is happening in Austin. And the Academy Awards were good.